with that. Justin, what's up, brother? What's up, brother? We haven't gone live in a minute, and I said, pruning's not that exciting, but, I could get on and say hi to everybody, show a little face, do a little something for the folks. Cindy, welcome back. Yes, I figured, we could get on and do a little bit of live. Let's check in, see how everybody's doing. It's not the most exciting live there ever was, but not the most exciting live. What's everybody up to? Oh, why does it keep doing that? It's like this button's breaking or something. Interesting. That branch is gonna be too big. You guys should all be master apple pruners after watching last week's video. You guys should be able to come out and help me out. So we're pruning these are Jonagolds. A little windy today. A little bit windy. Just grabbed a bite to eat. Very nice. Sirkin. Juanito took the day off today. He had to go help his kids down at college. Otherwise, he's usually out here with me. This is really starting to piss me off. George. Jorge. ¿Qué pasa, vale? Why do these pruners keep doing this to me? Trouble in paradise with the pruners. They work half the time, and then they decide they want to quit working. Very strange. Very strange. That guy's too big. That should be all right. This one's probably a little long. Logan, what you doing now? We're just taking advantage of the sunshine here. We're gonna prune a couple rows of apple trees before the end of the day today. Pruning shears are overrated. Usually we use just some regular ones, but I like keeping my hands not hurting. You know what I mean? I don't know. These are kind of nice. Not gonna lie. These are pretty slick. There's definitely some deer damage out here, and they are eating up the options of what I can leave when I'm pruning. Now here's a good one. We're just trying to make the tree a little bit more condensed, right? So this branch here, I cut it here because it was going too vertical. So as the season goes on and we start putting a couple apples on this branch, it's really going to flatten out like this. So that's really what I'm trying to do. Is you see branches like this that are way too vertical. We're going to go up here and find a spot where we can kind of help the tree hold onto the weight better, because the more vertical the branches are, the more likely they are to break when there's the weight of a couple apples on it. And just straight up here, you can see that these two branches are out a little too far. Actually, it's tough to tell with the shadows. See how they're out too far? And the deer have done a great job of eating every single good branch. So we're gonna kind of give those ones a restart. This one's so small and little, we're gonna whip it to try and force all these branches, all of the energy to go shooting up. I was watching a movie, but saw your live, so you jumped in. Thanks, Cindy, I appreciate that. Can you guys hear me all right? It's good to see Sirkin. Haven't seen you in a minute. That tree is kind of looking dead, but it's still very green. Still very green. Yeah, the deer are really getting into this farm. This is one we should probably cut back. This one's probably a little too low, so we'll just cut that whole thing off. Then the deer ate 2 branches here, so we're gonna bring it back. We don't want anything growing straight up. That's too up, too vertical, I would say. So what's everyone been doing? We haven't been live in like a week and a half. Missed the Pakistani fam. I know it. I said, you know, walking around with my phone is going to be a little more difficult, and half the time you probably won't even be looking at what I'm pruning, but I figured at the least I could just jump on. We could chat a little bit. We haven't been live in a while. How's everybody been? Besides the people on the Discord, we haven't been in touch in a minute. What's everybody doing? Temperatures are warming up. Ah, Nick, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás, Vale? Let's see. See, these are way too big to be this high up in the tree, right? This tree's at the 4th wire, but this is too much here. This is too much. So we're gonna Dutch cut both of those. This one's a little bit too long, but it's got some branch here, and here underneath, so we'll leave that there, do that here. Here's a great example of a great branch, but the deer have eaten everything off of it. So we're gonna restart that branch over. That's the tricky stuff. Just a little bit of light decision making going on, a little bit of light decision making. Mike, welcome back, brother. Living the dream. Just finished a sewer repair. Living the dream, working on other people's shit. No pun intended. Know what I'm saying? Get it? Yeah, man, we're just, the sun's shining. Spring is on us. We're gonna have 50s next week. Pretty soon we'll be getting the tractors out. We'll have to start spraying the apples. Spring is here, friends. Almost. It's still been pretty cold in the mornings. It's been down to I think it was 20 last night. See this? This is just sad. Let's see if we can get the camera. Deer. This whole branch had a bunch of options on it, but the deer ate them all. So we got to do what we call a Dutch cut. Get that off of there. And as you can tell, see, this one has no branches here in the middle. These will all be branches this year. But this here is way too long and big. So we're going to cut it back. So that's essentially just what we're doing. We're kind of just out here balancing the trees, right? I don't know if this row got pruned. I think I skipped a couple rows. Oh, well. Good to see you. Good to see you live. Yeah, it's been a minute. I just, it's tough to do a lot of pruning and hold the phone at the same time, and I don't have a good way of securing my iPhone to myself, I guess, to do the lives, if that makes sense. I do on the GoPro, or when I'm running a piece of equipment, operating, but we don't. So I said, you know what? I'll just bite the bullet. I'll hold on to the phone. We'll talk to the good folks online and see what everyone's been up to. See what everybody has been up to these last couple weeks while I've gone dark on the lives. ¿Cómo estás, amigo? Soy muy bien, amigo. ¿Y tú? ¿Estás listo? ¿Estás aburrido? ¿Listo a trabajar? Excuse me. Again, this is just out of proportion a little bit. Deer ate that. We just got to get some permits, and then we'll start taking care of those things. We get special permits from the DNR because they're damaging our agriculture, damaging our farm. So we can get some permits to take care of deer out of season, which is a nice touch. That helps us, another tool in the toolbox, they say, to help protect ourselves. Does anybody else have a garden that the deer are just trashing? Especially this time of the year when weather starts to warm up, they start moving a little bit. This branch is way too big to be that much in the middle. Do you get to hunt them or do you bring them to the hunters? I don't hunt them myself, but we have a bunch of employees that like to shoot. We have a lot of land, so hunting is very popular on our farm. And we have a lot of deer. I mean, the bucks will come in and they'll take a tree all the way down to pretty much nothing by rubbing their rack on it. Buck rubs, they'll tear the whole tree right down to its fucking center, and then they'll be toast after like a year. They won't live very long. So we try to avoid that like the plague, as you would imagine. So in doing so, we have to hunt them down. That's nice and flat, but it's too high up in the tree. So we're just gonna shorten it. We're gonna make it a little lighter. This is too vertical. This is too big. That's too long. You guys get the gist of it, huh? Cuando la nieve no está? Oh, maybe la siguiente semana. He asked, when will the snow be gone? I said, about one more week. Once we hit the 50s next week, it's going to be very different, very different. Guys, don't forget to double tap the screen, drop a like. Oh, I just got to be careful I don't cut these wires there. Those are what holds up the high density apples. There's 4 of them. One of them's connected to the irrigation. 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top. We got to make sure we don't snip those while we're pruning. That'd be a big no-no. I don't like those branches I left, so we're gonna go back and reprune that a little bit. This tree doesn't need much because it's so small. This is a pollinator, so what we do is we put different types of trees. We put in a little crabapple tree. Periodically, there's another one right here. You can see it's different than the rest. We put those in so that the bees can have some cross-pollination action when they're flying around in the spring. So we planted those by hand. The rest we do with the tractor, like you guys can see in the planting video that we did in the past. But once they get to a certain size and once the trees are in the ground, we don't run the machine back through. We just shovel them in. Once we do that, we shovel them in. So this guy is obviously too low and too wide. Or this is too low because when we have apples on it, it touches the snow. So I'm going to cut this actually all the way off. And this one can do better. So we're going to leave it there and we'll shoot these 2 branches off in the future. And hopefully that will get us some good apples this year. Uh-oh. Almost cut that one in the wrong spot. Almost cut it in the wrong spot, chat. Guys, listen to Justin. He says 3 likes isn't enough, guys. Double tap the screen, hit the triple dots up there. So you can kind of see what we're doing. We're taking branches that don't belong where they're at. You can tell this one way too vertical. So either I should cut it back here or I can cut it up here, maybe here, in hopes that some apple weight will bring it flat. And if not, then next year when we get to it, we'll be pruning it. This guy's already past the top wire. Oh, that's as tall as I can reach. I'm not too tall. I'm a short guy. Sitting 6 foot here. So So it's pretty simple to prune. You just gotta, most of the time the problem is just coming out and putting your head down and staying out here. Because as you can imagine, this can get pretty dull pretty quick, as you can tell. That's why I don't really stream the pruning too much. It can get a little annoying. Or hit the 3 dots in the corner just and say, hey, we're up to 6. Am I out there alone? No help? Yes. Just by myself today. No Juan. No Juan. Just yours truly out here today. No other help. All by my lonesome. But that's okay. That is okay. Sometimes I feel like I get more dumb when I'm working by myself. Does anyone else feel that about themselves? It's just too tempting to chat all the time, you know? Sometimes you just gotta get to work. It's too straight up. I think we'll leave with that one there. I don't like these trees growing into the post. I don't think that's as good of an idea, I guess. I don't know. I probably should have cut that back there, but let's see. We could probably get rid of that. Woo, look at that dog. Any big plans? Yeah, work better alone, Cindy said. Any big plans for myself this weekend? I don't think so. We are pretty much just waiting around for our baby girl to arrive. We're about 15 days out now, so we're just sitting around waiting for a baby to show up. That's pretty much it. Other than that, just hanging out. No big plans this weekend. It was my wife's birthday last weekend, so we did some brunch and some stuff like that. Nothing like turning 30 when you're 9 months pregnant. So as you'd imagine, we didn't do too much. We just did a little brunch, but that was about it. She didn't want to get crazy. No party bus. I couldn't believe it. I was really looking forward to it. I was like, well, you could at least drive me home. Come on. Thanks, Sirkin. I appreciate that. Toby, welcome back. Beautiful day in the mitten. Beautiful day. No bad days. Unless I cut my finger off live. That would be a bad day. I think that'd be about the definition of it. Probably the definition of it. That one is something else. Nice flat branches. That's too vertical. This one's too big, and the deer ate everything off of it. So we're going to come back here to this other older, that new growth. And we'll cut that off there. Same with here, we'll do that. We don't need that. We'll cut that. Boom. Any names picked out? Yes, we have one, but I can't share it yet. My wife says no sharing. Nobody's allowed to know. It's a bit of a secret. My wife pretty much didn't give me a choice on this one. She pretty much straight up picked the name. Little input from me. I like to play a little too much. I like to do a little too much name association when it came to the names. I'd be like, oh, don't you remember that chick from high school? I'm like, hell no, we can't have that name. Or like a character from like a movie. Like, oh, don't you remember that guy was the bad guy or the This chick was like that, and I was just too much name association. So I pretty much say no to everything. That's why she pretty much just told me what the name was going to be. Yes. That's not too bad. We'll live with that. That's too long. That's sticking. See how far out this one sticks? I mean, the tractors are driving right here. Spray trucks. So you suddenly, when there's fruit, this thing's a quarter of the way in. But what we can do is just shorten them up. That's the nice thing about these, about apple trees. Just about trees in general, how they grow, really. You cut them in the right spot, they will turn around and push a new bud out. And that is a bud, not butt, before someone says, you said butt. No. That's too long. A little bit of that, maybe here. Maybe we'll cut that. Ooh, I don't know. That's too low. See, this might seem like a vertical branch, right? Because it comes out, then goes up. But remember, as the weight of the apples hit, it's going to bounce that down and out like that. Yo, do we love Trump on this live? Absolutely. This is a pro-Trump channel. Pro-Trump here, pro-Trump. Michael, hello. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Welcome to anyone who just joined. We're out taking advantage of a nice day here on the farm and pruning some of our Jonagold apple trees. Pruning our Jonagolds. They're more of we just had our first crop on these this year. Look how long that is. No chance. This can't bend down like that, so we have to cut this back. There we go. Look at you guys are learning all kinds of stuff today. Deer are just taking away all of the options. Taking away all the options. During Christmas, my grandpa and me used to use his tractor to pull my mom's car out of the snow. Very nice. Dude, tractors are fantastic. See, someone ruined this branch. They cut everything off too close. So, we're going to have to fix that. Sometimes people get a little lazy at the end of the day. They don't make the same exact cuts that they're supposed to or do the right cuts. Not mostly, just... So this is what a rootstock is, right? So we grow all of our own apple trees. And sometimes when you bud and graft over down here at the bottom, sometimes what grows is the actual rootstock, not the variety of apple that we intended to grow. Or it can also be what they call a sport, right? Which could be something that something that changes. But based on these trees, this is absolutely a rootstock. You could tell just by the difference of the branches. The color's different. You can see that see if we get it focus. The buds are different. Everything's better. Toby just got back from lunch. Beautiful. Guys, if you like farming and you want to learn more about how we grow fruit here in Michigan specifically, don't forget to double tap the screen, like and subscribe. We just did a long form video on Sunday about the apple orchard and how we prune these trees. So if you want to learn a little more and need a more in-depth explanation of what we're doing, that information is out there for you guys. All you have to do is go to the channel and go to the long videos, and you can find that. We'll show you everything. I explain what I'm doing, what I'm looking at, and how I decide what I'm cutting so fast, right? It's not just out here guessing. All of this is calculated decisions. It might just seem like it's quick, or I'm just cutting whatever, but after you do it enough times, you just know. You just know eventually. Hats incoming, yes. I just ordered some hats. I didn't do too many of them because I don't know how many people are going to want hats. I still have to get an online store made, but I wanted to just kind of check the quality of that website. I used Printful. So I pretty much made a new design for the hat, and if the hats come out quality, I'll probably order some more. And I got to get some way of ordering online so that we can put that out there for anybody. They are trucker hats. I thought about beanies, but it's also coming up on summertime, so I think the beanie days are open for a while. So they're black and white, and they say Pomes and Stones on the front with like a little tractor logo. So I'm hoping they should be here in like a week. So we'll see how they turn out, and if they turn out good, I'll order some more, and we can get those put online. I could probably get some t-shirts done too, if anyone's interested in that as well. The very first Pomes and Stones merch. Hats. See, this is interesting. This must have broken because it had too much weight on it. You can tell by, oh yeah. You can see how ripped that is. That is not a clean cut. Not a clean cut. Kevin, welcome back. Still looks warm. It's actually about 40 degrees today. There's nothing but good old sunshine. We got a lot of trees. There's about 150 trees, I think, each direction. My truck's there, and there's the same amount of trees on the other side. We pretty much are just doing one side of the driveway right now at a time. So I'm trying to decide. You can see this whole tree, the top broke, all the little branches sticking out. You can see that this branch right by the snips, that branch, too long. This branch coming right out at me is too long. And so is this huge one here. So I'm trying to decide if I should cut this one up here somewhere where these branches are, or if there's a good enough bud down here, I can cut it back here in hopes that it will shoot out younger growth underneath, which is probably what I'm gonna do, just because of how long that branch was. Now this one, we can do a little bit with. I wanna make it shorter so it's not out in the aisleway where we're gonna be driving tractors, where we'll have our bin pickers, the sprayers, the orchard mowers, all that stuff. The deer pretty much ate everything off of this branch. So we're gonna start over. You're gonna hear that a lot, because every time I am out here, I'm like, wow, the deer did such a good job pruning, I don't think I have to. It's snowing in Arizona. Where at, Joshua? Are we talking up in Flagstaff or what? Up in the mountains? Same thing here. This branch is way too big. Even though this tree is arriving at the top, we got to cut it back. Snowing is in, it still looks warm. Let's see. All different varieties. Yes, Prescott. I've only visited the Arizona, Phoenix, Mesa area. I have some family out in Mesa and in Phoenix, the Surprise area. So that's as far as I go. I have been to the Grand Canyon and Sedona. I've done all that. But we actually stayed in Chandler over Christmas last year. We did a trip instead of gifts. We kind of liked that. See, same thing. You guys can see that these two big branches on the bottom are almost as tall as the main part of the tree. So what we really need to do, you can tell that this is what grew year one, and just based on how the bark changes, let's see if we can get it focused. There's a spot right here where you can tell where it switches between growth from first year to second year. Actually, this is probably 3 years ago, and it should have been cut last year, but we didn't. So this is a 1 year growth. 2 years actually up to here, and you can see that this and that has been growing since this last year. So in order to keep that flat again, we really need to come back here and cut that 2 year growth. And that wound will heal right over, and you won't even be able to tell. Same with this branch here. The deer ate everything off it. But we have two little nubs here. So it's called a Dutch cut. You'll cut underneath it like this on an angle. And that forces all the energy that comes up through the tree, and it hits these, and it's going to force these out. Whether they're apples this year or they have a vegetative bud behind it, that will change. That will change everything. It's going to change the way the tree looks. This is much too vertical. This is too many branches up here by the center leader. So we're going to trim those back. This is too much happening. Easy peasy, boys. Easy peasy. We want limbs to look like this. We want them to be flat, or we want them to kind of bend down like this, right? So I'm just gonna come here, cut that, boom. Just like that. The bent limbs are okay. And doing cuts like this here at the very end, that's just gonna promote newer growth. That's gonna promote that to push out more growth on the sides, force these buds out here. Because again, now that we're getting to the top wires, what we want to do is kind of push these trees out side to side. We want them to start growing. We want them to start feathering out instead of up. Up is always the first goal in high density. Need to grow up. Up to go out. So what else is new? What's everybody doing? Where are y'all watching from? I love knowing where everyone's viewing from. Is this the Pomes, official Pomes and Stones International Worldwide live stream? Yes. Why, yes it is. That's a great question, Jeremy. Can't wait for the bloom. Yes, the bloom is, oh man. It's so, the bloom weeks are awesome. Apples are cool because they have like they have a king blossom, so every bud can have the potential to have 5 apples on it, right? And one of them always comes out first, and they call it the king blossom. And it's very beautiful. We'll definitely be hitting some videos hard on that. Just down the street. Are you at home, Toby? Everywhere I've been working like the last 2 months, Toby's literally right down the street. A local. A local. Just hanging out. I'm going to bring that back. That's just a little too much. Then you are right down the road, my friend. Then you are right down the road. Oof. Let's see. I can do that. That's the too many branches growing in the same direction. Keep that down. That should be enough. We're not trying to restart the trees over. We like a lot of the growth here. We just need to balance branches that are too big with younger stuff coming out. That's really what we're doing. Now we're getting into some monster trees. You got your snowblower back just in time to not need it. I think winter's about to be over, my friend. I think winter's just about over. We're gonna have some 50s next week. Jeremy, what's going on, brother? What's the weather like down there? I've been seeing TikToks of guys in Indiana and kind of obviously you're not from Indiana, but right in that kind of same latitudinal area that are already planting. They got going out with forget what they're planting right now. Corn, beans, maybe. Either way, there's already row crop guys putting crop in the ground. It's crazy. We're still a ways away. We're still a ways away from doing something like that. Let's see. There. This is really looking too low. Rabbits are even getting up and eating that. That's rabbit. And that's because the snow was literally up here. So when the snow comes up that high, the rabbits kind of just walk right on top and they'll just start eating everything. Everything on it. So where do I want to cut this, though? That's the thing. We can probably cut it here. Then we'll leave this for 1 year, see what happens. I like that branch. That's good. This is too many going vertical at the top. We got to get rid of that. Got to clean that up. Not terrible. Mid-30s. We have some 60s next week. Yeah, we have a couple 50s up here. Oh, that's not too bad then. I'm going to cut that. Wow, it's a long row. It's a long row. It's a lot of trees to trim, boys. And Cindy. The boys and Cindy. Let's see. $53 the other day. Yeah, it's been pretty warm here too. It's happening. The sun, when the sun shines, the snow goes away. Like I think it was last week, we probably lost 2 feet of snow in like 2 days. That's how much we had. See, these are just too long. Really good sized branches, but it's gonna be too long. There's a big trees here. Yeah, 53 is crazy. But it's got to warm up sooner or later, you know? Ooh, we want to cut all the way through that. There's nothing left on this whole thing. It's crazy. They will do that and hope something comes out. Hope and a prayer, I guess. We really got to get the deer out of here. Causing problems. See, a lot of branch options here. Oh my God, so blurry. Give me a reason to start cleaning the shit out. I saw you shoveling your deck off last week when I went by. I honked at you. I don't like that. It's too straight. Too straight. Do that. I could probably just do a little bit of that. These trees are big. Let's see what else. Put that there. These two. There's 2 big ones here. To swap the heat for some cold weather? Shit. I don't think anybody says that, especially not here in Michigan this time of the year. Oh, man. What do we do? Could do that. It's a big tree. A lot of great looking branches here, though. Do that. Ooh. Ouch. We got to make one clear branch in the middle. That's why we cut those up there like that. One clear, easy central leader. A lot of big cuts. Ooh, we better do something about this. It's probably about all we really need to do. Maybe we'll do that. How big that branch is. There's just nothing happening. Ooh, the shears don't like that. We want heat, no more cold. Do you guys go through the orchard and clean up the prune branches? This is probably going to be the last year that we don't clean some of these up. The mower is actually wide enough that it'll suck these ones up. But the small stuff underneath we'll just leave. But here in the future, we'll probably get a sweeper that kind of goes on the ground and it spins and it'll kick all that brush into the middle and then we'll chop it. With the cherry brush, we absolutely go through with a big brush chopper, or we have like a big rake, has a bunch of tines. It's actually here, it's up there on the hill, with a backhoe. And what we do with that is we just push the brush to piles and we'll start burning it. So on the apples, we haven't really done anything as far as getting rid of the brush. Usually it sits here on the ground and it just kind of decomposes. This has been the craziest winter. Cindy's not wrong. It has been out of control. or what some would call it as an actual northern Michigan winter. We've had uncharacteristically short and warm weather winters the last like 3-4 years. So this is like what winter used to be like. You'd wake up and they wouldn't even know it, and they wouldn't predict it, and you'd have 3-4 inches. That seems to be kind of what used to be, but not anymore. A lot of plowing though, a lot of plowing, as you guys saw. But that's okay. That's okay. A good winter, a cold winter helps keep pests down. The cool weather does a good job of killing off some bugs. You know, it's always good to have a good little break too. Wow, there's a lot of good options here. It's a good looking branch. A little too tall right there though. Be lucky you're not in the Upper Peninsula. I got 2 feet. I know it. Good time to be a snowmobiler. Good time to be a snowmobiler. See this stuff here is a weed called bindweed. And as it grows, if you don't get it while it's young, it's darn near impossible to kill. And it actually will climb all the way up the wire, and then when it gets to the top, it just keeps moving. It's kind of crazy. Paint on the trunks, it is paint. It is paint, agricultural paint. We do it for sun cracking, because when the sun bounces off the snow, hits it, it can actually warm up the trunks and split them and crack them. So we paint them, and I think it also protects the trunks against a couple different types of bugs like black stem borer. I don't know if it does or not. If that's probably not scientifically like science behind it, but I've noticed the ones that are painted good don't seem to have as much of that pressure. But that's more in the Honeycrisp way over there because they're smaller trunks. Other sicker looking trees seem to be targeted. Stressed trees. Sure. Oh man, I broke that branch. Leaning on it. Yeah, these guys go through with paint mitts and they hit every single tree. Every one of them. About every other year we have to do that. About every other year. Every other. Would voles and rabbits not want to eat the bark because it's painted? Yes, I believe that to be a factor as well. Because the rabbits they'll come in and they'll eat all the buds off the branches on the ground that we already cut. They're good at doing that. You can tell it's them too, because they're very distinct. Very distinct mark that they leave. Deer will eat all of the new stuff that grows. That's what they're into. Rabbits will actually just eat all the buds, which is obviously your fruit or vegetation. This is too low. That's going to be too low. That's too low in general. We'll get rid of that completely. See how straight up that is? That's got to go. We tried it here once. It didn't work. We cut it there. It didn't work. So I'm going to cut it there and see if it does anything. That leaf just low-key kind of scared me. At least I didn't scream. That would be embarrassing. But I guess I got to preserve some foam batteries, so I just wanted to get on and kind of just say hi to everybody again. It's been a while since we did a live stream just based on the projects that I'm doing here. I'm going to try and do more live streams that are farm related, right? Because I think that we've gone a little astray on the lives based on what the channel is actually about. So we're going to try and target the live streams to be more about farming and less about plowing snow and ripping trees out. Because I don't think those types of viewers show up in the long form videos, because that's not what they subscribe to do. So we're going to try and get back to our roots here about pruning, not pruning, but our roots for fruits, about growing fruit, which will be easier to do once the weather changes and the trees start growing and the jobs start picking back up. So thanks everybody for tuning back in. Just a quick 45-minute. How's everyone doing? I hope it's everyone's enjoying their Friday. I'm probably going to finish up this row. I'm going to go down and back, and then I'm going to call it a day, and we're going to start the weekend. So thanks everybody for stopping in. It's good to see everybody. Good to see Cindy, Toby, Jeremy, Justin, all the new folks, guys. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to stop in and see what I'm doing. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.